Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I have just come out of a channeling and they wanted me to share this message and bring awareness to the choice of change and how to start practicing to really come into our own truth and how to navigate fear. So what they are explaining me is that when we are in fear, it's like a cloud around our energy centers, which makes our vibration slow down. So they explain both the chakras and then that there are energy points around our spine, like in our physical body around the chakras, and we also have these energy points in our field around our body. And they say that what we tend to do as human beings when we are in fear and in confusion, because our vibration is slowing down and we don't really get to access our own truth, to really become aware of our own thoughts and beliefs when we are in it, because it's like a clouded day, like you don't see things clearly. We tend to look outside and to look to those that seem to have clarity and be out of the confusion, and we tend to just follow them and like believe whatever they might say and just trust that. And that might be right. Right and wrong is another thing to discuss, but it might resonate is a better way to say it. But it might not. And what's really important at this time is to become aware of how this is affecting our free will and our ability to actually connect to what we want and to make our own choices. So what they're saying is that, and this is nothing new, but it is to really access what's within. And when we find ourselves in a situation with a lot of fear, and they're making clear that this is of course not when you are like in the middle of the road walking, like if you're crossing the road and a car comes and you will instantly jump out of the road and try to get away. It's not that type of fear, because that's like an instinct and instant reaction. But it is of course something that has to do with the situation in the world and what will be coming up. So instead of trying to get out of it, and instead of actually looking our fears in the eyes, which can be very, very challenging, and get clear on where it's coming from, what is actually the fear about, because very often there's something underneath, like the surface thing that we might feel triggered on. Like really dare to look it in the eyes and go deep within to see it and to feel it and become more clear about it. And also to look, like start that process to go within in order to find our own truth, because our own truth is within, in our own channel. That's our home, they're saying. And what we tend to do is to look outside to get some instant gratification, to get some clarity, just to like, because we're so uncomfortable and we're so confused and we don't want to be in this situation of being so uncomfortable and suffering. And when we do that, it doesn't give a lasting change, and it doesn't really help our situation much long term. And they say it's really, really important to start looking within, because then we can find our own resonance And when we come into our own resonance, then our vibration, like the energy center, starts vibrating higher, like it speeds up, and then that affects the other energy centers around in the body, which affects our field as well, and the frequency in our field. And this is why they're also explaining that we tend to easier come into a sense of peace and a sense of clarity if we are in the nature, because then the field around us is vibrating with the field in the nature, and it calms it down. So instead of going outside of ourselves and looking for distractions and trying to get out of the uncomfortable feeling, try to focus on getting into your center, into your breath, into your body, because that's the only way to really access your own free will and be able to make a choice. And what they're really wanting to put emphasis on is that we are at a point where we have a choice of change, and how, like, we have to make a choice because things are changing. And it's easier if we can start practicing this and becoming aware of this, because it's all really about becoming aware and becoming present. Then we can see much more when that spiral is starting, and use our own choice to a higher degree, whether we're going to take the spiral into fear or whether we are going to spiral out of the fear and into our own empowerment. Now, fear is it's a part of what we're experiencing in the third dimension, and it is very natural. So it's not at all about bypassing, or like it's really the opposite of bypassing our fear and trying to make it bad or wrong. It is all about looking our fears in the eyes, because we all have different fears. And when we use our free will and our awareness, and we make the choice of becoming aware of it, and we sit with it, and we become present, and we come back to ourselves, and we start practicing this. It's not like, okay, I'm going to sit down, never done this before, never been thinking in this way before, and you sit down and like it happens, and it's all like the fear is all cleared. Obviously it's not like that. It's a practice. But they're saying that it's very important to have that awareness now, start practicing it, because we're going to need it. And it's really all about becoming present, becoming aware, facing our own fears, and from that point accessing our free will and making a choice, instead of out of discomfort running out and just trying to find someone else's truth and just run after that and abandon ourselves. So I hope this is helpful. That's the message that I wanted me to share with you today. Please share if you know someone who can have help of this and might resonate with it. And I wish you a beautiful day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.